we only have one day to harvest the entire garden. Let's go check it out. We started our harvest bright and early in the morning, harvesting our lettuce first, because it tastes better, as the lactic acid, which makes it taste better, is still in the roots compared to the leaves. However, many of the red lettuces were extremely bitter, so we did not end up keeping them. A main portion of our time was spent harvesting potatoes. These are red skin potatoes. We planted a variety, including russet and I think Yukon Gold potatoes. And we planted blue potatoes, but we didn't harvest any blue potatoes. We quickly went through the three sisters, which is the corn, beans, and squash. Here's our spaghetti squash and pumpkins. They stayed in the bed. The butternut squash kind of wandered out. You'll see later. A lot of our good corn was eaten by the deer, so we had a poor corn harvest. We also harvested most of our beans earlier in the year, but we got a few beans. Many of the corn was eaten by the deer, and we were surprised with the amount of popcorn cobs that successfully survived, so we might be able to actually utilize those kernels. We also had some pumpkin. This generated a lot of compost for our compost. The watermelon never actually produced anything more than a vine, so maybe better luck next year. But it was quite a vine. Curious if this is due to pests or temperature. If you know anything, comment below. We also had a load of clover. Since for the winter we want to do hairy vetch for our cover crop, we decided to cut this back. Here's our butternut squash from the three sisters that ended up growing into the other compost beds instead of the main vegetable garden. And we had Jasmine's favorite, carrots. We had some pretty good sized carrots. These ones are a bit too big for her. She doesn't have too many teeth. She's a little old, but she tried. She's enjoying herself. And eventually we gave her one that was her size, and she had just a blast. These are also spring onions from the stores. The bulbs got huge. And the tomatoes. Our tomatoes were very green. A little before. And after. The husband did a lot of work for this, so kudos to him. And we got a ton of potatoes. So if you have any recipes, as you can see, we got a ton of potatoes. So if you have any recipes for any of these, send them our way. Put them in the comments. Let us know.
I feel pretty good about this. Almost all of this came from 100 square feet, which is, to me, pretty impressive. I didn't realize how much we would really get. And yeah, we'll be able to improve, and hopefully...
What were you the most impressed with?
The potatoes. The potatoes were awesome. I've never actually grown potatoes, so getting like a massive amount of potatoes is just awesome. What about you?
The sunflowers? I don't know, because you always talk about having like pretty things versus like food, and just like sunflowers as like, I don't know, a food is just kind of really cool. I'm actually really happy about the sage and actually the amount of herbs we've grown this year, which aren't here, but like they're delicious. So I think
That's been pretty awesome.
Yeah. So.